Thank you very much, Claire. Apologies for the long-winded title, but trying to, in the next 15 minutes, do justice to the work that we're doing in Saudi Arabia at KAUST. So my job at KAUST is overseeing what's called Technologies and Special Projects, which is a portfolio of projects aimed at looking and making impact, an accelerated impact in the kingdom. But we're looking very much to work in collaboration with a wide range of companies, organisations globally, and we work very closely with companies and organisations in the UK. Perfect. So apologies again, just a little bit of words at the beginning, but I think it's important just to sort of set the scene a little bit. So prior to this, I used to spend, I was Chief Technology Officer for Innovate UK and oversaw both the Strategy, Impact and Centres and Networks Directorate and the Catapult Network, etc. So I spent quite a bit of time with my background in sort of aerospace, automotive and marine, looking at how do we fast track the move towards what we call multimodal future generation transportation. So how do we integrate new novel vehicles, land, air and sea together, despite various regulatory sort of impacts when they're trying to work out how to deal with these new types of vehicles. So those regulatory pressures, etc., and the novel sort of technologies, how do we get them into the market as quickly as possible? So one of the areas that I've been particularly interested in is also looking at how do you deal with, for instance, in airspace. So my previous job before joining at KAUST was head of R&D at NATS, the National Air Traffic Services in the UK. And I oversaw the UK's largest AI-funded program called Bluebird, which is looking at trying to integrate AI agents instead of air traffic controllers. It actually highlighted a number of issues, particularly about legacy kit. So legacy kit and potentially groupthink within transportation is actually potentially a big hindrance to fast tracking these novel new ideas. So for instance, in airspace, where you have 1,600 controllers in the UK all going through the same process, all designed and developed to think the same way, when you're trying to integrate something new like eVTOLs and next generation aircraft, it's actually quite difficult to move the dial. So what I'm going to just show you in the next few minutes is what we're doing in Saudi to try and deal with that. So at KAUST, we're actually the world's largest single-site LEED Platinum facility. We have 36 square kilometres of a mixture of land and marine, and also uniquely we control our lower airspace. So within this sort of 36 square kilometre living lab, we have effectively a full town, 13,500 people working in the facility, 8,000 people living on it, and we have a hospital, school, 2,000 students in our school, university, and a full range, just as you would have in any normal city. But it's fully controlled and owned by us, and also uniquely in MENA, so the Middle East, North Africa, we can put drones in the sky, we can run drones from boats to the hospital without any regulatory approval. We control it. So it allows us to do things that would be troublesome elsewhere. So for instance, if you want to run an autonomous bus in London, you want to put things on the road or on the put cameras up, it takes a bit of time to get approval for that. We can just go ahead and do it. And it just gives you a little bit of sort of idea of what we have at our disposal. Sorry, the clicker's not working. Sorry, I realized it. So this is our site, by the way. It's only about half our site, 36 square kilometers. Give you a bit of a feel for what it looks like. We're on the Red Sea, and it's a pretty complex site. In terms of KAUST itself, we have a full set of software, etc., to allow people to come into our area and effectively demonstrate at scale fast fail ideas, and we run a range of topics through our digital twin. We have created, if you were listening to my talk yesterday, which was on actually coral reef restoration, we actually have the world's largest coral reef restoration project in collaboration with NEOM. We've created a digital twin. So on the left-hand side, we have our real-time operations. It doesn't matter whether it's car, bus, diver, boat, health, coral. We have real-time operations feeding a trusted research environment, both cloud and on-premise. And then on the right-hand side, we have machine learning and a whole host of other topics to effectively act as the twin. But it's more than just a digital twin. We link in our ERP systems, so our enterprise resource planning tools, and our process for any of these projects. So it allows us in a sort of sector-agnostic way to take in ideas, concepts, and operate them and do what-if studies. So we can run real-time our full traffic models, whether they be autonomous buses, drones, autonomous boats, through our secure database, and operate AI agents instead, just looking at what-if studies, what works, what doesn't work. We also run a phone, so everybody on campus has the KAUST Central app. And this app allows us to run a range of things. So every house, the whole site as its LEED Platinum, is fully connected from a central control system. So we know when the lights are left on, we know when doors are left open or the aircon is leaking, etc., and we can control it centrally. But you can control it from the app. So for instance, in my office I have a smart lock. You can see if you've got good eyesight, you can sort of pick out the top left button. I can delegate my office to other people to come in and sit, and it's completely dynamic. But it also means that we can control operations. So if you want to go to A to B from your house at KAUST to another part, you can do on-demand transportation, fully autonomous. And we will work out the best route to take you there in the most efficient manner. And we have a range of on-site capabilities in terms of mobility. We actually operate a demonstration vehicle, which is a just off-the-shelf vehicle, nothing special about it, but we've completely instrumented it up, fully autonomous, and we work with OEMs and Tier 1 suppliers for development of their systems, whether it be smart towers, sensors and chips, visualization, just to really push the boundaries on the autonomy of the vehicles. The beauty is we can run that around the site in a controlled manner, but it's got a full operation in a town-like environment. We also have demonstration housing, looking at the next generation houses, how people can live in houses and integrate with, say, drone deliveries, autonomous shuttle deliveries, etc. And that's all fully integrated through the app. And this slide just gives you a range of some of the vehicles that are running on site, and I'll show you some of them in a minute, just in the videos of what we do. I mentioned the autonomous vehicle. We have autonomous package deliveries. We all know what it's like when Amazon or whoever comes to your door and leaves a package at your front door. It's not so good when it's 40 degrees heat and high humidity. So we want to maximize or minimize the time of packages sitting on doorsteps. So we have autonomous package delivery. We have autonomous shuttles and, autonomous drone delivery. But the one thing which we're looking at and putting in the site is the right-hand picture, which actually is a fully developed sandbox for multimodal transport. So this is a sandbox that we're looking to do, 250 acres for both land, air and marine. And this will allow us to look at next-generation vehicles in a really controlled environment. With the OEMs and the Tier 1 suppliers. So this is just a bit of a slide shot of our autonomous vehicle and the work that we do. We work with our faculty. We're a postgraduate-only university, and we work with a lot of people externally and companies. My actual group, we bring people in, we showcase startups, and we demonstrate and fast-fail ideas. So this vehicle is running every day, and we can swap in and out various technologies. The shuttle is the first shuttle, autonomous shuttle that was running in Saudi Arabia. We've worked our way through the various autonomous levels. The beauty here is that we are able to do this around the campus, and it is an on-demand pickup. So it will literally come to your house, pick you up, and deliver you to your place of work autonomously. And we are looking to increase the use of those and look at further developments and how those integrate and work more closely in the environment. The other one is on drones. So as anybody who flies a drone knows, it sounds simple putting a drone in the air. It's maybe not so simple when you come to do it with the approvals, etc. As I mentioned, we control lower airspace on that 36 square kilometers. So we are able to do drone development, deliveries, look at how you can integrate with that in a controlled manner without having to go, and we can manage those approvals with GACA, who's our CAA in Saudi. We work very closely with a range of, say, OEMs, tier ones, and looking at, again, how does a drone integrate seamlessly. We operate them in terms of a range of applications, from sort of maintenance, surveying, through to security, to just package deliveries, etc., and medical devices and deliveries. We're looking at how you actually get deliveries from A to B in a cost-effective, efficient manner, including deliveries to your house. So looking at design of next generation houses and how they integrate with drones. And the last one that we have is the autonomous package delivery. And this sounds simple, but actually in terms of the user interfacing, takes a bit of getting used to. So this is, again, from the app, central app, dialing up and saying, I've got a package coming from Amazon, Noon, etc. It goes to a central warehouse at KAUST. It goes onto this type of vehicle, and from your central app, you can control it. Comes to your house, you unlock it, you take your package out, shut it back, and off it goes. And it just means that they haven't got packages sitting in the front doors on the houses. And don't forget, we've got 8,000 people living on site, so there's a lot of packages coming in on a daily basis. And this has revolutionised how sort of the deliveries work. So we're operating a mixed environment of package deliveries, drones, autonomous shuttles, cars, etc. But the next place where we really want to go is how do we move the dial further. For those who know anything about Saudi is probably one of the world's largest building sites, particularly up at Neom. There's a lot of activity ongoing. There's a lot of drive to reduce emissions and zero emissions transportation. In fact, the removal of vehicles altogether. But when you're building out areas, and particularly around the islands, and you want to operate in a zero emissions way, new forms of transportation, particularly around eVTOLs, so electric vertical takeoff landing aircraft, and also foiling vessels, so basically pulling the vessel out of the water, reducing the drag, and foiling the vessel, just like America's Cup or SailGP. How do you demonstrate those vessels or those new types of aircraft in a controlled environment, and including the new forms of cars with their fuel forms and sustainability? So we're looking to put in this 250-acre site, which would be a complete test sandbox, which would complement our living lab and link it into our twin. And this will allow us to fast-track testing of both road cars and heavy goods vehicles and foiling vessels and electric vertical takeoff landing aircraft. We only are 50 miles from Jeddah Airport, which is the main control for the whole of Saudi, and the aim is to do demonstration flights as well from KAUST to Jeddah, and also to run the next generation of vessels from A to B, from KAUST to the likes of Cake or to Jeddah. So this hopefully will be one-stop shop for testing of those types of vehicles. The beauty is once we've demonstrated in a secure manner in this 250 acres, we can push it into our actual city living lab, the 36 square kilometers, again within a controlled environment before we push it out further into the wide world. Sort of closing remarks are that we are highly collaborative. We want to work with the best in the field. We want to move things at pace. We're in a race, to use Claire's term. We're all in a race. This is a global fight, and multimodal transport is a global problem. Airspace doesn't know boundaries. What works in Saudi has to work in the UK, and the cross of all of this information has to be linked. So we want to work together. We're very keen to know next generation capabilities in the UK, both organisations, companies, etc. So if you're interested to work with us, please give me a shout. I'm all ears. Thank you.